Imagine this. What if the next 5 days held more potential for transformation than the last 5 years of your life? What if just 1 minute of your focused attention could rewire your brain, recondition your body, and open the door to a future you once thought was impossible? Between August 26th and August 30th, we are stepping into what many call a cosmic portal. But let's take away the mystery for a moment. Think of it instead as a window where energy, consciousness, and possibility converge. And when you know how to direct that energy, you don't just wait for miracles, you become the miracle. Neuroscience tells us something extraordinary. The brain does not know the difference between a vividly imagined future and an actual lived event. Your body, as the servant of your mind, responds chemically to the emotions you generate. So if you spend 1 minute rehearsing the impossible as though it is already real, if you feel it, breathe it, and embody it, your body begins to believe. And when your body believes, the universe responds. Have you ever noticed that there are certain moments in life where everything feels accelerated, where time bends, opportunities arise, and what normally feels impossible suddenly becomes within reach? We often call these moments portals. But a portal isn't a door in the sky, it's a shift in frequency. It's a window of alignment, a convergence between the human heart and the greater intelligence of the universe. Between August 26 and August 30, we are stepping into such a window. Now, let's talk about what that really means. Most people live every day inside the same neurological and emotional patterns as yesterday. They wake up, think the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, make the same choices, and ultimately create the same experiences. Their life becomes a program. But when the rhythm of the cosmos provides us with an opening, when the cycles of energy are amplified, it gives us an extraordinary opportunity to break free from that program. It's as if the universe is turning up the volume on possibility. And if you can match that frequency with the coherence of your own thoughts and emotions, you step through the opening. Imagine two tuning forks. Strike one and the other begins to vibrate. That's resonance. During this 5-day period, the energetic resonance of the universe is heightened and it's inviting you to attune to something greater. The question is, are you willing to vibrate at that higher frequency? Are you willing to let go of the thoughts and emotions that tether you to the past and instead align with the future you want to create? Science tells us that everything is energy. Atoms are not solid, they are vibrations of frequency and information. Your body is no different. Your thoughts are electrical charges. Your emotions are magnetic fields. Together, they form your personal electromagnetic signature, a signal you are broadcasting into the quantum field every second of every day. And like a magnet, that field draws back experiences that match the signal you send. So consider this: if the collective field of energy between August 26 and 30 is already vibrating at a higher frequency, then by elevating your own signal, you are no longer bound by the gravity of your past. You are lifted into resonance with possibility. You are no longer a victim of circumstance. You become a co-creator of reality. This is not magic, although it often feels that way. It is science meeting spirituality. When your brain and heart move into coherence, when your thoughts are clear and your emotions are elevated, your biology reorganizes itself. The stress hormones of survival diminish, and in their place, growth and repair hormones flood the system. Your immune function improves, your brain becomes more synchronized, and your heart radiates a measurable field that influences everything around you. In this state, even 1 minute of focused intention can do more than hours of scattered wishing. And that is the gift of this portal. The universe doesn't measure how much time you spend hoping. It measures the intensity, the coherence, and the authenticity of your signal. In 60 seconds of pure presence, when you embody gratitude for a future that hasn't yet happened, but feels as though it already has, you collapse the distance between who you are and who you are becoming. Think about it. We have been conditioned to believe change must take years. Healing takes decades. Success takes a lifetime. Transformation takes endless struggle. But in truth, transformation happens in a moment, in a decision, in a frequency shift. Just as light can travel across space instantly when it finds the right medium, your intentions can travel across possibility instantly when carried by coherence. So, this portal is not about waiting for the stars to bless you with luck. It's about using the amplified energy to step into your own mastery. It's about becoming aware of the story you've been telling yourself, the story of limitation, of doubt, of impossibility, and deciding that for 1 minute you are willing to tell a different story, one where the impossible is no longer impossible but inevitable. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself standing before that doorway. On one side is the life you know, the familiar thoughts, the predictable emotions, the daily routine of yesterday. On the other side is the unknown, a field of pure potential where every dream you've ever held already exists as information waiting to materialize. The only requirement to step through is your willingness to let go of the known and surrender to the energy of the unknown. This is the nature of a portal. It does not open outside of you, it opens within you. And from August 26 to 30, that doorway will feel wider than usual. The choice is yours: remain in the familiar past or walk into the unfamiliar future. All it takes is 1 minute of coherence, 1 minute of elevated emotion, 1 minute of total alignment with your vision, 1 minute to become the person who already lives the reality you desire. Because when you step into resonance with the energy of a portal, you are no longer waiting for the future to happen. You are pulling it into the present. And in that moment, the impossible becomes not only possible, but inevitable. Most people are living their lives either trapped in the memory of the past or caught in the anticipation of the future. Their minds are busy replaying old stories, reliving old hurts, or anxiously projecting what might happen tomorrow. But here's the truth: the past no longer exists, and the future hasn't yet arrived. The only place you ever really live is in the present moment, and the present moment is the only place where true change can occur. Think about it. Every thought you have about the past is simply a memory firing in your brain. Every projection into the future is just imagination colored by your past experiences. But when you land in the present moment, when you are fully awake, fully aware, fully here, you step outside of the program. You interrupt the cycle of yesterday shaping today, and you open the door for a new destiny to emerge. Neuroscience has shown us that 95% of who we are by the time we are adults is a set of unconscious programs, habitual thoughts, conditioned emotional reactions, and automatic behaviors. Most people think they're making choices, but in reality, the program of the past is making choices for them. The present moment is the only place where you can break that cycle. The moment you bring your awareness here, you take the steering wheel back from the program and begin to write a new script. Now, what does that feel like? Imagine sitting quietly and simply noticing your breath. You're not trying to change it, you're just observing it. As you do, your awareness leaves the chatter of the mind and drops into the now. In that space, your brain begins to change. The beta brain waves of stress and survival slow down, and alpha waves begin to emerge. Alpha is the doorway to creativity, to intuition, to possibility. Your body begins to relax. Your heart finds a new rhythm. And for the first time in perhaps a long time, you feel the relief of being fully present. In the present moment, you are no longer defined by the story of your past. You are no longer predicting the limitations of your future. You are free. And in that freedom lies your power. Because if you can sustain awareness in the now, even for a minute, you are creating space for something new to enter your life. Consider this: when you're fully present, the brain and body are no longer running the old program. The stress hormones of survival diminish. The body is no longer waiting for the next problem to solve, the next danger to avoid. Instead, you move into creation rather than reaction. The body begins to believe it is safe, and when the body feels safe, it can finally relax into growth, healing, and expansion. The present moment is also where the quantum field lives. It's the place where all possibilities exist. The field doesn't respond to who you were yesterday or who you fear you'll be tomorrow. It responds to who you are being right now. So if in this moment you can embody gratitude, love, or joy, if you can feel the emotion of your desired future as if it's already here, you are broadcasting a new signal into the field. And the field, by its very nature, reflects that signal back to you. 1 minute in this state is more powerful than hours of scattered thought. Why? Because in the present moment, your energy is no longer split. When you're thinking about the past and worrying about the future, your energy is fragmented. But when you are here, now all your energy is gathered, coherent, focused. And energy that is coherent carries an amplified signal into the field of possibility. The irony is that people often believe they need to invest years to create change. They think transformation is a long, linear process. But in truth, transformation is timeless. It happens in the now. It happens in a single choice: to be present, to think differently, to feel differently, to act differently. That choice is always available to you, and the portal into it is always the same this very moment. So, as you breathe, as you let go of the story of who you have been, as you quiet the mind and feel into the heart, you reclaim the power of the present. And in that reclaimed space, you step outside the prison of the past and open to the unknown of the future. The present moment is the doorway to possibility. It is where the impossible becomes possible, not because time has passed, but because consciousness has shifted. When you begin to master this, you realize that 1 minute of true presence has the potential to alter the trajectory of your entire life. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Every single thought you think is not just an invisible idea floating in your mind. Every thought is a measurable unit of energy. The brain is a living electrical organ firing millions of circuits every second. When you think the same thought again and again, those circuits wire together. That wiring becomes the foundation of your identity, your habits, your personality, your reality. But here's the key. If you can wire thoughts that reflect limitation, then you can also wire thoughts that reflect possibility. The brain does not distinguish between an external experience and an internal one when the emotion is strong enough. Imagine biting into a lemon. Your mouth begins to water even though there is no lemon. The brain sent a signal and the body obeyed. Now imagine waking up each day rehearsing your future instead of reliving your past. Imagine stepping into the version of yourself who has already created the life you want. The brain doesn't know the difference. It believes the rehearsal. It fires the circuits as though it is happening now. And the more you rehearse, the stronger those neural pathways become until eventually the brain is wired for a future that hasn't yet materialized. This is the neuroscience of possibility. Possibility isn't something vague or abstract. It is a biological reality waiting for you to train your nervous system into alignment with it. The question is, which circuits are you rehearsing every day? If 90% of your thoughts today are the same as yesterday, then 90% of your life tomorrow will look the same as today. But if even for 1 minute you step into the unknown and think a thought you've never thought before, paired with an emotion you've never truly felt before, you are no longer firing the old circuits of limitation. You are firing new circuits of possibility. The body, of course, is listening to all of this. Every thought produces a chemical, and every chemical carries a message. A thought of fear produces stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Those chemicals condition the body to stay on high alert to brace for survival. Over time, the body becomes addicted to that state. But a thought of gratitude, a thought of love, a thought of abundance produces a completely different set of chemicals. Dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. Those chemicals condition the body toward growth, repair, trust, and expansion. So when you begin to emotionally embrace a future before it has physically happened, the body begins to believe that future is real. The immune system strengthens. The heart rate stabilizes. The nervous system calms. The body is no longer living in the memory of the past. It's living in the rehearsal of the future. And if the body is already living in that future, then energetically, you are drawing it toward you. Think of it like tuning a radio. If you're on a station that only plays music of limitation, doubt, and fear, that is the signal you broadcast into the field, and that is the music you experience. But when you tune to the frequency of abundance, of love, of joy, you begin to broadcast a new signal. And by universal law, you begin to receive experiences that match that frequency. Your brain becomes a tuning device for possibility, and your body becomes the instrument that plays it. This is why one vivid minute of aligning thought and emotion can be so powerful. In that minute, you are literally rewiring circuits in the brain and reconditioning the body. The old neural pathways that supported doubt and impossibility begin to weaken from lack of use, and the new pathways that support creation and expansion grow stronger. Over time, the brain becomes a map of the future instead of a record of the past. And as the brain changes, so does perception. You begin to see opportunities you were once blind to. You begin to attract people and circumstances that align with the new signal you're sending. What once felt impossible now feels natural because you've rehearsed it into being. Possibility, then, is not reserved for the lucky few. It's not chance, it's not coincidence. It is the science of who you are willing to become in thought and in feeling. When thought and feeling align, when the brain and body are unified in the rehearsal of a future reality, you collapse the distance between dreaming and living. The future is no longer some far-off event you hope for. It begins to unfold in the present. This is the gift of understanding how powerful your brain truly is. It is not designed just to remember the past. It is designed to imagine the future. And the more you emotionally embrace that imagined future, the more your biology organizes itself to match it. The brain, the body, and the field all begin to speak the same language. And when they do, the impossible is no longer improbable. It becomes inevitable. People often believe that in order to create real transformation, they need to dedicate hours, months, even years of their lives to effort and struggle. But change doesn't work that way. The truth is, transformation doesn't require time. It requires presence. 1 minute of full alignment between your thoughts and emotions, 1 minute where your entire being is broadcasting a coherent signal, is more powerful than days of living unconsciously in stress, fear, and doubt. So let's talk about how to use that 1 minute. The body is an instrument, and like any instrument, it can be tuned. Most of the time, people are out of tune. Their minds are thinking one thing, while their emotions are feeling another. They may think about abundance, but they feel lack. They may think about love, but they feel loneliness. They may think about possibility, but they feel doubt. That incoherence creates static in their signal, and when the signal is static, nothing changes. But when the brain and the heart come into harmony, when thought and emotion line up, the signal becomes clear, powerful, magnetic. That's when manifestation happens. The first step is the breath. When you slow your breath and focus on the heart, you send a signal to the body that it's safe to leave survival mode. You're telling the nervous system to relax, the stress hormones to quiet, and the body to move into a state of balance. Deep, intentional, rhythmic breathing is not just about oxygen, it's about coherence. It's about creating order out of chaos. Once the breath has settled the body, the next step is to open the heart. The heart is more than a pump, it's an electromagnetic generator. The field it produces is measurable, and it's far stronger than the field of the brain. When the heart is open, when you feel genuine gratitude, appreciation, or love, that field expands. The heart becomes a transmitter of information into the field of possibility. Now, with the heart open and the body calm, you bring to mind the outcome you desire. Not as a distant dream, not as something you hope will happen someday, but as if it is happening now. You picture it clearly, you see it, you hear it. You step into the scene as though it is real. You're not watching from the outside, you are inside the experience. Here is the crucial part, you must feel it. The brain may imagine, but the body must believe. So you allow yourself to feel the joy of the dream realized, the gratitude of the wish fulfilled, the love of the connection already made. You elevate your emotional state until your body cannot tell the difference between the inner experience and the outer reality. To the body, it is happening now, and then you hold it. For 60 seconds, you keep your attention locked on that reality. You're not thinking about what you'll eat later, not checking your phone, not drifting back into the past. For 60 seconds, you are in total alignment, heart open, brain engaged, body believing. In that moment, the electromagnetic field around you is broadcasting a coherent signal into the quantum field. And by law, the field must respond with experiences that match your signal. This is not about wishing or waiting. Wishing implies separation, that the thing you want is far away. Waiting implies lack, that you don't already have it. But gratitude implies completion. Joy implies realization. Love implies connection. These emotions signal to your biology that the event has already occurred. And when the body believes it, the universe aligns to make it so. Think about the power of this. People waste entire lifetimes rehearsing fear, rehearsing limitation, rehearsing doubt. They practice it so well that it becomes who they are. But what if, for just 1 minute a day, you practice possibility with the same intensity? What if you rehearsed gratitude for a life you haven't yet lived until your body believed it had already happened? Over time, 1 minute becomes 2, 2 becomes 5, 5 becomes a state of being. That is how transformation happens, not in struggle, but in coherence. So the invitation is simple. Once a day, give yourself 60 seconds of complete presence. Breathe, open the heart, envision the impossible as real, feel it fully, and hold it with gratitude. In that 1 minute, you are no longer limited by the past, no longer waiting for the future. You are living as the creator of your reality. And when you live that way, even for a minute, you begin to collapse the distance between who you are and who you dream of becoming. The most important question you can ask yourself is this: who am I being right now? Because the person you are being in this moment is the person shaping your reality. Most people think they have to wait for success before they feel successful, wait for love before they feel loved, wait for abundance before they feel abundant. They live in a constant state of waiting, and because they are waiting, their energy is broadcasting lack. But what if you reverse the formula? What if instead of waiting for life to change so you can feel differently, you decided to feel differently so your life would change? That is what it means to embody the future self. When you close your eyes and imagine a version of yourself living the life you desire, notice how that person walks, how they breathe, how they think, how they carry themselves. That self is not burdened by the limitations you hold on to today. That self is not doubting, second-guessing, or replaying the past. That self is already free. To embody the future self means you begin to live as that version of you now before the evidence shows up. You think the thoughts that person would think. You feel the emotions that person would feel. You make the choices that person would make. It's not pretending. It's rehearsing. Just like an actor rehearses a role until the performance becomes effortless, you are rehearsing a new identity until it becomes who you are. The brain wires itself to reflect the rehearsal. The The body begins to respond chemically, your energy shifts, and little by little, the future self ceases to be a fantasy, it becomes a state of being. Think about how much of your day is spent reliving the old self. You wake up and remember your problems, and suddenly the body is back in the chemical state of stress. You drive to work and replay conversations in your head, and the body is back in the emotional state of resentment or frustration. Without even realizing it, you are embodying the past self over and over again. The body becomes the mind of the past. But the moment you choose to embody the future self, you break that cycle. You give your brain new instructions. You tell your body to feel in a way it hasn't felt before. At first, it feels unfamiliar. The old self will resist. The mind will say, "This isn't real. You can't do this. Nothing has changed." That is the voice of the program trying to survive. But if you keep rehearsing, if you keep showing up as the future self, eventually the old voice gets quieter. The body learns a new language. The future self becomes natural. And here is the beauty: when you embody the future self, you begin to attract experiences that confirm it. If you are embodying gratitude, opportunities arrive that give you more to be grateful for. If you are embodying abundance, circumstances appear that mirror abundance back to you. If you are embodying love, connections emerge that reflect love in return. The outer world becomes a reflection of the inner state you have chosen. The key is consistency. Not perfection, but consistency. Every time you notice yourself slipping back into the old self, you bring your awareness back to the new one. You remind yourself, I am not the victim of my past. I am the creator of my future. And you step into that embodiment again, even if it's only for a minute. Over time, this becomes a way of life. You stop waiting for external evidence and start creating from the inside out. You stop chasing outcomes and start aligning with them. You realize that the portal you've been waiting for is not outside of you. It is the moment you decide to embody the self who already lives the life you desire. So ask yourself now, what would it feel like to be that version of me? What thoughts would I allow? What emotions would I nurture? What actions would I take? And then don't just think about it, be it. Be it in the way you sit, in the way you breathe, in the way you speak, in the way you love. Be it until the old self has no room left to exist. Because the truth is, the future doesn't arrive one day out there. The future arrives the moment you embody it here, the moment you become it. And when you live from that place, you collapse the distance between where you are and where you want to be. You are no longer reaching for the future. You are living it. So here we are standing at the threshold of possibility. Over these last moments together, you've come to see that the portal between August 26 and 30 is not simply a date on the calendar. It is an opportunity to step into a greater version of yourself. You've seen how energy rises in alignment with cosmic rhythms, how the present moment holds more power than the past or the future, how your brain and body can be rewired for possibility, how a single minute of coherence can shift your entire field, and how embodying the future self pulls the future into the now. The invitation is simple, but it is also profound. Stop waiting for life to change so you can feel different. Instead, feel different so your life can change. For 1 minute a day, breathe a line, open your heart, and step into the identity of the person you dream of becoming, not someday. Now, because the moment you do, the impossible ceases to be impossible. It begins to take shape, first in your mind, then in your body, then in the field, and finally in your reality. This portal is not outside of you. It is within you. And when you decide to cross through it, when you embody gratitude, love, and wholeness before the evidence shows up, you become the creator of your destiny. That's how you collapse time. That's how you rewrite your future. That's how you manifest the impossible in just 1 minute. So I ask you, are you ready to stop living as the old self and step into the new? Are you ready to let go of the past and become the architect of the future? The doorway is here. The moment is now. And the future is waiting for you to claim it.